The movie begins by showing a guy named Clean, who works as a garbage collector in a tough neighborhood. He's got a pretty rough job, dealing with local gangsters and all. When Clean's done with his work for the day, he doesn't just kick back and relax. Nope, he goes through the stuff people throw away, looking for hidden treasures. Then he fixes up those treasures real nice, and takes them to a secondhand store run by a friend from his past. Clean's life hasn't been easy though. After his marriage ended painfully, he's been living in a small workshop. To make things even harder, he blames himself for his daughter's death because she got sick and didn't make it. He carries that guilt around like a heavy burden. Clean tries to make up for some stuff he did in the past, so he looks out for a young girl named Diana, who doesn't have parents and lives with her old grandma. Clean does his best to help her out. Now, in another part of town, there's a man called Michael who's super excited because his son, Mikey, is getting out of prison today. But when Mikey gets out, he decides to hang out with his buddies instead of going back to his dad. Michael's pretty disappointed, but he decides to keep his cool and let his son do his thing. As the sun goes down, Clean is doing his usual garbage collecting job. But on this particular night, he sees something strange happening outside Michael's restaurant. Michael and his pals seem to be up to no good, hiding weapons. Clean decides not to get involved and keeps doing his job. What not many folks know is that Michael isn't just a restaurant owner. He's also involved in some illegal stuff. He smuggles drugs from China by hiding them cleverly in fish, and then he sells them in the market. It's pretty shady business. That night, Michael was really upset because he didn't get what he was expecting from his supplier in China. The next morning, Clean saw Diana walking to school all by herself. She told Clean that the school bus didn't come to their neighborhood anymore, and her grandma's car was broken, so she had to walk to school every day. Without thinking twice, Clean offered to give her a ride. Later, Clean surprised Diana with a used bicycle that used to belong to his daughter, and he left it outside her house secretly. But Ethel, Diana's grandma, found out about it and came out to talk to Clean. She asked why he cared so much about her granddaughter, and Clean admitted he was trying to make up for something he felt guilty about. Ethel was touched by his honesty and said he was a good person. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Michael was really angry again. Those Chinese suppliers messed up their deliveries once more, and it drove Michael crazy. He lost control this time and attacked the delivery guy so bad that the guy ended up dead, covered in blood. Mikey, Michael's son, saw the whole terrible thing and was shocked by how cruel his dad could be. Michael was a big shot among gangsters, and he didn't care that he just committed a public murder. That night, Clean was getting ready to pick up trash near Michael's restaurant when he smelled something awful and saw fresh blood splattered around. Curious, Clean decided to figure out what was going on. Just when he was getting closer to the mystery, Michael suddenly showed up behind him. Michael, trying to make up for the mess he caused earlier, offered Clean some money to clean up the gruesome scene. But Clean didn't want to get involved in Michael's dark world, so he said no and went back to collecting trash. One day, as Clean was on his way to work, his car suddenly broke down right in the middle of the road. Then he saw a guy being chased by some really mean-looking thugs. These bad guys cornered the poor guy in a narrow alley and started attacking him. Clean was about to step in and help when one of the thugs snuck up behind him and hit him on the head, knocking him out. When Clean woke up, he was in a hospital bed. A doctor told him that his head injury was serious and he had almost died. The doctor wanted Clean to get ongoing treatment and medicine, but Clean said he just wanted to go home. On his way back home, Clean ran into Diana, who was hanging out with some troublemaking kids from the neighborhood. Clean got worried about her safety and asked her to go home right away. But Diana got mad and said he wasn't her dad and couldn't tell her what to do. The young troublemakers kicked Clean out of their group. After a while, though, Diana listened to Clean and left the unruly kids behind. Meanwhile, at Michael's dinner table, he and his son Mikey got into a big fight. Michael was really mad because Mikey was choosing to have fun with his friends over their drug business. The argument got so intense that Mikey pulled out a knife and threatened his dad if he didn't stop insulting his friends. That night, Mikey decided to run away from home. At the same time, Clean stumbled upon Diana's bike outside an old, empty house where those troublesome kids hung out. When Clean went inside, he saw something really scary. Diana was being forced to take drugs and drink alcohol, and those unruly kids were harassing her. They were even recording this cruel stuff to show to others. Without thinking twice, Clean fought back with a metal pipe hitting those bad kids to protect Diana. After the intense fight, Clean realized that one of the kids he had beaten up was Mikey, Michael's son. Mikey got hurt pretty bad. In a hurry, Clean took Diana and got her away from there because he was afraid that the police and Michael would come. After a few days in the hospital, Mikey was allowed to go home. The doctor told Michael some bad news. Mikey's body would heal, but his face was so messed up that he needed plastic surgery, and his voice wouldn't be the same because his vocal cords were damaged. The doctor said they should do the surgery soon to avoid problems, but Michael didn't seem to care about helping his son get better. He wanted Mikey to suffer for being disobedient. Not too long after, a cop named Frank told Michael some disturbing stuff. He found a video that showed Clean beating up Mikey, and it made it clear that Clean did it. Michael knew Clean was close to Diana and her grandma, so he told Frank to get rid of them both and bring Clean to him, but alive. This creepy move showed that Michael had some power over the local police, and he used it for his own plans. At the same time, Clean knew that Michael would want revenge for what happened. So, he quickly tried to get Diana and her grandma out of the city to keep them safe from Michael. But they had to stop because they heard police sirens blaring. Clean thought about giving up to protect them, but then he realized that Michael had his people in the police force. In a split second, he stepped on the gas and made a daring escape to keep them safe from Michael's scary reach. After narrowly escaping from the police, Clean went into a nearby restaurant. When Diana and her grandma went to the restroom, Clean saw a chance to escape. He broke into a parked car, thinking he could get away from the police and Michael's guys. But Michael's gang saw Clean's car in the parking lot and went after it. Diana and Ethel, realizing they were in danger, tried to find a safe place or another way to get away. When Clean saw Michael's guys getting closer, he slipped through a back door. Inside, he got into a fight and managed to take out some of Michael's men. During the fight, Clean found Diana and her grandma hiding in a warehouse. When they saw Clean fighting, he finally told them his secret. He used to be a feared assassin known as the Angel of Death. But after his daughter died, Clean quit that deadly job and started working as a garbage collector to stay hidden and avoid people finding out about his dark past. After making sure that Diana and her grandma were safe, Clean went back to his secret place to get some stuff he needed, like money and weapons. Then he went to a friend's store and got the weapons he'd need for the big fight with Michael and his gang. Meanwhile, Frank, who was at Michael's place, told Michael that Clean wasn't just an ordinary guy. He used to be a really scary assassin known as the Angel of Death, famous for being really brutal. Right after hearing this, Michael got a scary call from Clean, saying he was coming over real soon. Michael got his crew together and got their weapons ready for the fight with Clean. At the same time, Clean was getting ready for his mission. He carefully prepared a bunch of special weapons and gear. When everything was set, he took off for Michael's place, driving a regular-looking garbage truck. Out of nowhere, Clean smashed the truck into Michael's huge mansion. The crash made the power go out in the house, but Clean was like a shadow in the dark, taking out all of Michael's guys with ease. So, Clean started looking for Michael, but he got a big surprise when Michael suddenly came out from a hidden spot. They had a really tough fight, but Clean was quick and strong, and he beat Michael so bad that he passed out. Clean was getting ready to finish him off when something unexpected happened. Mikey, Michael's son, showed up with a gun and aimed it at Clean. Michael thought Mikey was going to get revenge by killing Clean, but Mikey surprised everyone by turning the gun on his own dad and shot him. Just when it looked like Mikey was going to shoot Clean too, he ran out of bullets. Clean barely got away from getting killed. At the end of the movie, Diana was riding her bike through the city, and things were finally calm without those troublemakers and the mafia causing problems. She stopped for a moment and smiled when she saw Clean driving the garbage truck towards her. So the moral of the story is sometimes, all you need to clean up a messy situation is a garbage collector turned former assassin with a garbage truck.